What's chillin' YouTube? This is Davis or D Hallen C, and I'm back with another video. And we've got shut up. And we've got a special guest here, Aiden. We're not going to mention his last name because he works for the government. And we're going to be making a Master Rank or a Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak monster tier list. And we've got some thoughts on this one, I would say. We've got some thoughts. I'm on the tier list maker right now. I've got SS, S, A+, A, B, C, and dog shit. And we're going to change this to brown. No, they don't have brown. We're going to change it to like gray.
I did purple.
I wouldn't consider purple bad. I'd actually consider it pretty good. But, so anyways, we're starting with Agnesum. There's a lot of monsters to get through. What are your thoughts on Agnesum? I'll let you, we'll go back and forth. You go Agnesum first.
Agnesum is decent. Pretty much just average. I don't hate anything about it. I don't think anything about it is exceptional. I'll throw it in A or B.
I threw it in B. I consider B average.
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah. It's better than all the other birds. Pretty cool, especially the afflicted one, but...
Well, Kulu Yuku, though?
I think it's better than that one, yeah. It looks better than Kula Yuku, at least. It's got more going on.
Definitely looks better.
Okay, Mudrin. If Magmadron wasn't a thing, I'd have a higher ranking for this guy. But I think Muck is disgusting. And it's not as cool looking in terms of like how all the effects that go off of it. But I still think the mechanics of Mudrin are great. He works really well against dual blades. He's unique in his own. He's not some monster that they brought back. So, good introduction. I would put him A+.
A+.
A+ or S. It's kind of hard to choose, but like, I'm going to do A+ just because I don't know where these other monsters later on are going to go. No, yeah. Who's definitely A+.
Yeah, he's A+, because I'll throw one I won't get into it. You gotta have room for the S test. Alright, Anjanath. I really like this guy, honestly. You can break the fuck out of his legs.
Oh, man.
Literally cripple him.
You're delusional.
You're delusional. Anjanath is a solid A tier.
I'm going to argue that tier. See, we have got our own tier list, but I'm putting Anjanath in B. Above Agnesum, but B. As a dual blades player, right? If I want to demon flight this guy, do you know how many times I'll like do my little front flip to try and get into the demon flight, and I'll miss and whiff because you can't hit any part of his body because it's just too tall for you, except for like his legs. It happens all the time.
And if you have a hammer, then you could just smash his legs, turn him into a cripple, and eat him.
Okay, you know what? He's A. Because I consider A good monsters. Like, he's been in other games. He looks like a good he's got a good appearance as a monster. He's not overly crazy or unique, but he's also not, like, general. I don't like that there's not a lot of crit spots on his back and tail. That's annoying. And I do like that basically when you beat the living shit out of him, he gets concussed, like Hayden Callaghan in high school, and basically just like crashes into a wall. So I like that. Okay. Apex Arzuros. You know, the Apex Arzuros emergency mission is A tier because I like getting my ass beat. But
You got your ass beat.
And so did you. So did you.
No, that was obvious.
No, you both did. So I'm gonna put him in B, above Agnesum. No.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah. Because, yeah, sure, he's an Apex monster. Like, he's got a darker hue. He looks cooler and stuff. But he's still Arzuros. He's still stealing your fucking honey. He's no new moves really. He just hits harder. So
he does have that one new move, but it's not really anything special.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him B tier.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where he belongs.
Mm-hmm.
Apex Diablos. This guy looks really cool. See, I have no idea, honestly.
I do.
He's really cool. I like his look. His fight is kind of annoying, but like once you get used to him just like charging at you, it's not that hard. I'm gonna throw him in the A+.
Jesus.
What?
That's just high praise. I had him in B. I'm gonna put him in A, behind above Anjanap. Because as an Apex monster,
This guy's so good.
as an Apex monster, it's kind of embarrassing if you are in like anything less than A tier. Diablos has the same problem that Anjaneth has, which is the dual blade problem of you can't touch his body. It's just too tall standing, except for his legs.
That is true.
And so,
And you can't even break his legs as easily as Anjaneth.
yeah, he doesn't
I'll drop down to A.
He doesn't feel good to hit. He's got a lot of hard spots that just don't feel good to hit. It is nice to break his tail because it's got a cool looking, I guess, like Y shape on it, or U shape, whatever. But just, he's not that fun to play against. And, yeah. Apex Mizutsune. I'm going to go ahead and throw her in S. I did not really care too much about Mizutsune or Apex versions until I actually played the Apex, because we had the wrong pedalist on. I had the demon on, the demon pedalist. So I kept getting one shot by the Apex emergency mission, and I thought she was fucking insane. And her moves are just like visually stunning with the blue orbs and sort of the purple, blue, reddish hue of everything. It looks really cool to play against. She hits hard. She's got unique moves, and she's fun to attack too. Like large body, like on Mudrin, a lot of crit spots, beautiful tail, and so there's not too much to complain about except for. No, there's not really any. I even like getting bubble danced because I think it's funny when you're sliding around. So I'm putting S.
But like it, once we threw him the absolute pedalist, she was kind of a pusher.
Yeah. I wouldn't be, especially with these new monsters, I wouldn't be opposed to putting her A+. Like at the top above Almudron.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Alright, Apex Radlos.
are you keeping her S then?
No, I'm keeping her at A+.
Oh, yeah, I'll put her
I'm throwing Apex Radlos in A+ as well. He has some super cool looking moves. The fireball explosion.
That is cool.
And he just looks he looks sick as hell. And all of his new moves are super cool. And he doesn't stay in the air that as long as regular Radlos.
I would say A tier. He's the best of the Apex is so. Well, no, that's not true. But he's better than Diablos and Arzuros. He does have that cool fire blast that comes out. That's massive. He doesn't float as bad as the original and as Raytheon. And he's got a good design. And he's been around the game forever. So a solid A entry.
Alrighty.
Apex Raytheon, C. So here's my thinking on this one. I hate Raytheon anyways. And this is just the same thing, except it hits even harder, and if you get hit by the tail whip, you basically die. And I'm just not a fan of that. And I've seen like YouTube videos where like people used to play whatever the other games were, and they're like, oh, they keep bringing them back, but people don't mind because you get used to the moves, and so they're kind of like practice targets. No. I know they're going to do the tail whip, and sometimes I still get hit by it. And then I get poisoned, and then I die. So this bitch is going in C, and we already know where her counterpart's going to go because there's only so much farther down you can go on this list. And yeah, I mean, she's C tier. I don't like her. Her look is inferior. What were you saying?
I'm throwing her in B because she still looks cool. And then other than the tail whip, you know what? She kind of does the tail whip like literally every single move. God, that is so tough. But I don't want to throw regular Rathian in dog shit tier. Maybe Rathian and Apex are going to be on the same level.
Yeah. Because there's not too much difference between the two.
Yeah.
Apex and Ogre.
So. S tier. He looks super cool with the new hues. He has that one new move that can literally one-shot you. I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. I'm very familiar with that one. I'm very familiar with that one.
Super fucking difficult, and he's just like the final challenge, really.
Yeah. He's an easy S tier for me. I actually had him in SS tier in my before Sunbreak video because I didn't have a ton of new great monsters. So I did have him in SS tier mainly because of the emergency quest, because that is the hardest quest in base Rise, and you cannot tell me otherwise. And I'd probably done that quest 20 times. I don't know how many times, maybe more. And again, triple carded, died every time, haven't survived it. There's just something about it where he's got that triple threat. He hits hard like a truck, he stuns the living shit out of you, and he just kind of laughs in your face the entire time. He's got weird moves that come out of nowhere. And even when I'm trying to play safe, if I'm deciding, okay, I'll use Gun Lance and try and shield a lot of attacks and really only go in when I can, I still get my cheeks clapped. So I respect him a lot for that as well. You got to respect power, and I do. And so he's going S tier for me as well. I'm going to have to say that. Regular Arzuros dog shit. Moving on.
I throw him in C tier. I'm saving my dog shit tier for the ones that I really just care about.
Okay, I do agree. He is kind of funny the way that he does a butt slam and that way that he steals your honey, and you can't fault him for the fact that he's basically the first monster you encounter, so it's not like he's going to be some crazy endgame beast. So I guess C tier's fine.
Yeah. Astalis, man. He does look really cool. He has some interesting attacks. Man. I'm struggling between S and A+. I think I'm going to throw him an A+. Because, he doesn't really stand out to me all that much, you know? Maybe if I played against him earlier, but no.
He's like Apex Mizutsune for me, where he's so close between S and A+, because one, I can see why all the fans were super excited to have him back. He is a beautiful monster, one of the prettiest looking monsters. The fluorescent rainbow looking wings are so good looking. He's giant, he's menacing, he's very distinct. The one issue that I have is that he's green, and that's just the fact that I prefer blue over green, and that's just a weird thing. But I do rock his layered armor, his wings at least, or his mail, and I do like the appearance of his armor sets. All his weapons look sick as hell. He does have a lot of unique attacks, and the other reason why I can't really put him higher than S, or I guess I'm going to put him A+ at the top above Apex Mizutsune, but the reason why I can't put him S yet is just because I haven't played him enough. I've played him I've gone 3 or 4 hunts against him, and so I haven't played him enough to see if I like him even more because I get better against him, or I like him even worse because he gets more annoying. So I'd put him A+. He's got a couple of really cool, interesting attacks that come out, and he's got great design. So.
Yep.
Roricanth. I was just playing this guy for 21 minutes. I'm going to put Roricanth, even though I criticized him, I'm going to put him in A. And I'm going to put him above all of the others in my A tier. Because he's better than Somnicanth. I think we can say that. He doesn't sleep your ass, so that's already a plus. And yes, he inflicts you with the Ice Blight and all that, but I do like when the whole map or the whole floor kind of changes into that darker ice color, and then he does the triple, I guess, ice explosion attack. That's a cool move. That's one of, like, if any monster has that kind of move, then they automatically should be in a higher tier, in my opinion. And I like that he basically sits up like a snake for most of the hunt, so you can demon flight all over him. You can't really ride a lot on his body. He doesn't have too much to go around, but he basically just kind of sits still. He is annoying as fuck when he does the snake move, which he does a lot, where he just kind of slithers around and hits you, and that shit is annoying. And so I'm never going to put him probably higher than A tier, but he's not on the same level as Apex Arzuros and Agneson. I mean, he's way better than him. And he's better than Anjanath.
I'm going to hit you with the counterpoint.
Yeah.
Which you probably don't realize because you only play dual blades, but with any other fucking weapon, this guy is a bitch to hit in the head. He's probably worse than flying monsters because all you're hitting is his tail because he's always sitting up or on the ground moving around. And the monster just doesn't look cool. And he does that Ice Blight, which isn't that annoying, but still not a great... I
mean, it's a good counterpoint, but he's just... We're talking... If I put him in B tier, he's on the same level as Apex Arzuros and Agneson. And they don't have any kind of super crazy move or things going on.
They're also not super annoying.
Apex Arzuros?
I'm throwing... Yeah, he's not super annoying. Maybe because you got your cheeks slapped by it, but...
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Little PTSD. And and because of that, he's staying in his shitty ass B tier, and Auroracanth's above him in A. He's staying there.
Nope. Auroracanth is a B tier.
Okay. Saber-Tooth Tiger? Ariel? Diego! I was trying to call him. I was trying to say his name from Ice Age, the Saber-Tooth Tiger, but I couldn't think of his name. Diego. What do you think? What do you think of Diego?
This guy is relentless, which is good and bad in some ways. I don't know. I think he's an A tier. I think he's a solid A. He's super aggressive, super relentless. If you get knocked down and use Wire Bug, then man, you're going to be not using any Wire Bugs for a while. He also has Ice Blight, but he looks super cool. He has that tornado move, ice move thing. And he also does that shoulder smash, which is really cool. Yeah, I think he's a solid A tier.
I'm going to put him A above Apex Diablos and Anjanath, but behind Apex Rathalos. I agree with all the things. He's got a long tail, which is fun to ride along and cut off. He does do Ice Blight, which is kind of annoying, and he is very aggressive, which is also annoying. And he's got weird-ass attacks, like when he does that tail whip that kind of 360s around you, and it still hits you. He's got some annoying moves like that, sort of a Tigrex feel when you play him. But I love breaking his face off, love breaking his tail. His Wyvern Ride is dog shit. I don't think that's...
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? You... Maybe I'm not doing it right? But when I do it, half the time he does a stupid, pathetic fucking shoulder bump that doesn't even reach them. I waste a fucking Wire Bug every time because I'm like, we're gonna shoulder bump him like it's football, and then he does like 2-foot advancement and doesn't even hit the guy, and it's like deflating my penis the entire experience, and I don't like that at all. His Wyvern Ride sucks.
Do you use back A or forward A?
What is his back A?
His back A is where he like rears up and then jumps at them, and then if you spam A after that, he can do the shoulder smash when he's right next to him.
Yeah, okay. The jump one is okay, but there's monsters that do that better. I think his Wyvern Ride is horrible. Not horrible, but not good. And so he's going in the middle of A. Also, I think if I played him in World, because I saw the World version, the Ice one, or the Chilled, I don't know what they called him, but he looked cool in that.
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Who's next? he looked very, uncommunicative, taciturn, you could say. Anyways, Beroth. I'll take this. I'll take the next two. These are my boys. Beroth, A+, Viserios A+. Okay? I'm going to explain both. They're similar. They've got hard rocks.
Wait. Before you go on, weren't you just complaining that your weapons were bouncing off of it?
Okay.
That guy?
I always have to preface this. That's with a dual blade. Okay? And when I first played Viserios and Beroth, I did have them way lower in my original tier list. They were probably B or C because I did not like that they had hard shells. But when you pull out that gun lance, it doesn't fucking matter. It literally doesn't matter. You could be a rock, you could be as dense as a diamond, and I'm gonna break you. And I think that their designs are so cool. Like Beroth, I think Viserios is actually better than Beroth in terms of how they look. Viserios just is one of the coolest monster designs. He's a giant fucking rock with lots of edges and then a weird face. He's got the giant fire blast that comes out of him like a Teostro or like any of those major monsters would do. He's got several different elements that can come from his belly, and he sort of like farts them out, which I think is funny. He rolls around, which can be annoying, but again, if I'm playing Gunlance, that's not a problem. And I just like fighting him when I'm playing Gunlance, especially. He's just a great monster to encounter. So I'm a big fan of him. Beroth, same thoughts. I like when he charges with his helmet, because he's got that super hard head, and I can use dual blades against him for this guy. And I always counter that, and that's a lot of fun. So I really like these guys, and they're going A+ for me.
I'm throwing Beroth in B tier and Viserios in A tier.
Suck my dick. One thing I've noticed too about Mudrin is, I forgot to touch on this, but Mudrin's also special for me because he's one of my most hunted monsters, especially in base rise, if not my most, because I had to get the golden Mudrin orb since I loved his weapons on the dual blades and how they looked. But continue on. You were saying that you were saying something stupid? What were you saying?
No, I was saying something intelligent, where Viserios is definitely just better than Beroth. Beroth is kind of just like spam the one train move, choo-choo, you know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about?
You could say like Beroth was more neighborly, right? More amiable.
You look at these words up.
I just know we're gonna be saying cool a lot, so I went ahead and Merriam-Webstered. Okay. I think we're on agreement here. Go on to Bezel Geese. Thoughts?
Bezel Geese is definitely an S tier monster.
Whoa. He's top.
How do you disagree with that?
He's below Astalis for me. He's second place in A+ tier for me.
Wow.
Okay. First
Bezel
off,
Geese,
okay.
Throws explosion.
Think about it this way. First off, the Seething Bezel Geese is yet to come out, and that guy's automatically got to be better than him. So, is Seething Bezel Geese going to be an SS tier monster for you if he's already S? That's the question you have to ask. The other thing is this. Yes, he's good, but you're never going to die to this guy. You're just not, and that's sad. I don't know how bad you are at this game, but I'm disgusting, and I don't die to this kind of loser. And yes, he's a B-52 Mustang airplane or whatever. He makes a lot of crazy noises that just enhance.
His roar is fucking insane.
Yeah, he's got an insane roar. When he does the airplane mode and he dive bombs and he drops all the bombs, it is a spectacle and everything else. But again, he's not S tier because the only monster in S tier right now is the only monster that can really beat my fucking ass, and he can't.
That's not the only thing you're rating this on.
It's not. But let's be honest, we love Elden Ring, and I'm a big fan of that type of work my shit playstyle, and he just doesn't. I do like. Also, here's the other thing, he does have good armor in terms of actual utility for the gunlance, so that's a bonus. But his weapons for dual blades, not good. You could say they look good, but they're not good. And he doesn't have a lot of utility outside of that. And he just, I don't hunt him that much, right? I don't hunt him that much. I hunt Teostra more. I don't hunt Camelios more, but I hunt Teostra more. And that should say something.
I don't know. Everything about this guy is awesome, except the fact that he can't just work you.
Okay, I'll put him in S, but I'm gonna fill up my S tier, and there's gonna be a lot of monsters. The other thing is, like, I just can't put him above.
Maybe later once we fill this up and there's like 30 S tiers, then
I just can't. It's just hard to put him above Astalis because I like Astalis more in general.
Then don't put him above Astalis.
You're right. I'm not gonna fucking yes man with you. You're an idiot. He's going A+. All right, we're gonna take care of both Bishotens. The original is gonna be B above the Acnosom. The Blood Orange Bishoten is gonna be A. I'm gonna put him at the top of A so far, above Aurora Camp. Regular Bishoten, he was cool. He had like those little dongo or the fruits that he threw at you, but if you died to this guy, you were seriously a trash can. If you died to this guy, please delete the game. And I mean, he would throw those fruits and they would do 2% of your health. He also flies around and sticks on the wall like a bat. So there's so many times where you can't hit him, and so he just didn't have a lot going on. And then the Blood Orange Bishoten was like a major improvement, I think. Still has similar mechanics, but he's got like, as I like with all the monsters that are higher in the higher tiers, he's got those projectiles. So he's got that fire blast projectile. He's got a couple of cool different new added moves, and he can kill you. So I think he's a solid A tier for Blood Orange.
I would agree with most of that, except for Blood Orange Bishoten's Wyvern Ride is the worst.
You don't like the 3 fire blasts coming out of his face? That's a cool move.
It's so slow.
But it always hits.
But it's so slow. Like, every time I use it, I get hit before I even get hit.
How is this a conversation? You like Barioth's Wyvern Ride. You like that.
You just don't know how to use them. You just don't know how to use them.
Apparently not. Apparently not. Alright. Camelios, thoughts?
Fucking B tier. I literally hate poison so much, dude. And the new Camelios, he uses poison so much more than the old one. It is actually so annoying. Oh my god. I don't really think I ever want to fight this guy again. He doesn't look cool. He's not big. He's not, like, intimidating. And his fight is annoying.
Okay, I'm going to have to touch on a few of those because you just made some straight up dumbass statements. First off, not intimidating? I'm sorry. Did you not get your ass carded every time I'm in a quest with you against this guy? Like, this guy beats your ass.
Intimidating looking.
Okay. He fucking
pumped me full of poison.
Yeah, you gotta clarify because this dude works your fucking ass in quests, I see. I mean, he'll cart you. He will. And intimidating, yeah, I mean, he's goofy. He's not intimidating, he's goofy. But, like, you don't have to be intimidating. You can still look goofy. Like, I'm fine if they look goofy if it works. I like that he goes invisible. I think that he's got one of those cool one of those cool visuals where he goes invisible sometimes and you can't find him, and it's like a little bit of scariness because if you're already weak, he could just insta-hit you. His tongue stretches out. Yes, poison is horrible, and he is the most offensive when it comes to poison because it actually drains you and can kill you. I don't like that his tail is one of the least attractive things to hit. It just doesn't work for me, and I'm going to put him in A tier behind Blood Orange Bishoten, but in front of Aurora Camp, because he's about in that area for me. Like, he's an Elder Dragon, so I can't put him in B tier. There's just no way. But, and he's got some cool looking weapons. Like, the longsword looks cool. Dual Blades looks pretty cool. So he's got some good looking weapons. His armor isn't that good utility-wise or appearance, but I'm going to put him in.
We all know where this next guy's going.
Yeah, I had a like 30-something page script already for monsters in the base game, and there was like 3 or 4 dedicated to Valstrax. I have him in SS, okay, just in case you didn't know. He is the best monster in base Rise, by far. Every single weapon that I decided to go with. Also, we don't have to do these guys like in order because I'm seeing a couple where it's like, I don't really want to put... Like, I'm seeing 2 monsters that are going to be back-to-back bangers, but the thing about Valstrax is I test what weapon I like on his dive bomb. So if the weapon I'm using has a cool counter against this dive bomb, has a sick interaction against this dive bomb, that makes me want to use that weapon, because the dive bomb is single-handedly the best and most what do you call it? Immersive move in the game. Immersive move in the game. I remember we would do the event quest Valstrax before we even did the regular one, and we weren't even.
We did event quest at like Hunter rank 40, and
yeah, and it was straight up not a 50-50 chance of losing. It was like a 10% chance of winning every single time. You had not only yourselves had to survive, but you had to rely on your teammates not to get fucking destroyed. And like, I remember that night that we beat him, it was like we did 10 quests or something before we beat him, and it only was like sheer luck in a way. It was like everything went well. We had a hunting horn player to help heal us.
Yeah.
They were OP, like they were constantly hitting him down and doing all the damage, and we were just staying alive. And so like we only beat him because of that. And I remember like the first time when he went in the air and just looking around, kind of like, where'd this guy go? And then just getting ass bombed from the air, just immediately death. That was really fun. And I just love everything about it. He's got so many menacing moves. Like, he straight up can one-shot you on multiple occasions, not just the dive bomb. The dive bomb's super sick because so many people didn't know how to counter it at first, and I think it's such a insane monster move. Like, you don't see that in any of these other monsters. He's got like an ultimate move, and yeah, he's definitely my favorite in Rise.
Crab Boy. I'm gonna throw Crab Boy in A tier. Actually, yeah, A tier. He's just solid all around. He looks cool. He has the water out of the shell. Nothing too special, but definitely a solid A tier.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Big Meaty Claws. He's A+ for me. He's right in front of Baroth, but towards the bottom of A+. He was the very first new monster we encountered in Sunbreak, and he was a lot of fun. His Wyvern Ride is one of the best. He's so fast. He jumps into the sky when he does that move, and it's like you're actually jumping the length of a tall skyscraper. He also has the move where he kind of like shuttles and then runs and then like does the over the shoulder kind of jab at you, which I think is hilarious. So he's got a lot of hilarious moves, like the jump and that jab. He's got the spray, the water spray, similar to a Mizutsune spray. He's got a couple of moves that can really kill you. The only reason why he's not higher or lower is mainly that there's not a lot of crit spots on him. You kind of have to hit his face and get right in front of his like front of the body. So that's the only annoying part, is that you can't really hit too much outside that. Also, his weapons are really bad and his armor's really bad, so he doesn't have a lot of utility and like reason to hunt him.
Yeah. Diablos.
Yeah, B. I'll put him above Bishaton. Same thoughts as the Apex, but he's just a little bit worse because he doesn't really kill you, and he just sucks.
Yeah, not really much to say on that guy.
His armor sucks, his weapons suck too.
I'm gonna take this one first.
Okay.
Because your opinion is questionable at best.
You don't even know my opinion, kid.
I know exactly what your opinion is. Espinos is an A+. Super cool. Looks amazing. He's sleeping when you get in there always, so you can literally drop like an impact crate on his board.
I know, dude. That first time when you did it, oh, you were so sick when you fucking blew yourself up and didn't even touch him. That was so sick. The way you did that, God, you're an animal.
The hammer at that point, but
yeah, you were an animal.
Anyway,
yeah.
Anyway, his paralysis, fire, poison can be annoying, but if you're even decent at the game, he's never gonna touch you. Literally never. The only thing that's really gonna kill you is his, like, where he puts his head down and charges forward at you, and that's if you get caught off guard.
Okay.
He's an A+.
Here's the thing. I agree with your ranking, but so many of the things that you were saying sounded like straight up diarrhea. It was hard to listen to. You said that you're bad if you get carded by this guy. I want you to go play Dual Blades and solo him. And tell me if you survive the quest. Tell me if you survive the quest. Because guess what?
I can solo him with hammer.
Guess what? You run out, you get hit one time by his poison, bleed, poop, mud, water, and paralysis effect. One time. and you're dead as a Dual Blades player. Because guess what? You wanted a Demon Flight, and then he hit you with it, and now you're 30% health, and you're stunned for 10 seconds, and no one else is on the map, so he's coming straight for you. Boom, you're dead. And that happens so many times. That move comes out too many times in the quest.
Just don't get hit, trash can.
So,
it's not that hard to dodge them.
Look, I'm saying all that and shitting on it, but like in a good way. I like that he's got that threat. He's got the Zenogur threat of, if you try and fuck around with me, I'm not going to fuck around with you. Okay? If you think it's funny to troll on this hunt, I'm going to put you in the dirt. And that's what Espinos does, where if you think you can get away with something, he won't let you. And yes, he's cool looking. Not as good looking as Astalis, but he does have a unique design. He's got cool looking weapons. I love the dual blades. I love the way the dual blades look. His armor's pretty useful too. Like, I use the arms obviously for the most dual blade builds. And so he's got a utility. He's got a good hunt. He's menacing. He will kill you. But he does have that... I just feel like if I hunted him for a day straight, I might kill myself. Like, I might actually, 7 hours straight of hunting him, dying, triple carded after getting stunned. I might just, like, kind of walk outside and think about things. And just be like, man, did I really just waste 7 hours of my life on this guy? That's just my only issue with him. So, I'm going to keep him in A+. Even though I am shit-talking him, I'm going to keep him in A+, because I do think he's very unique, and he's a good addition. Alright, I've got the next two. You can have this one. Sure. No, wait. Oh, I thought you were talking... We're on the same one, right?
Yeah, the rock monkey.
Yeah. No. It's... not the rock monkey's next. There's two more before him.
What two?
Furious Rajang and Guy's Mcgorm.
Oh, yeah. Whoops. So, Furious Rajang. Man. I wish I would have fought him solo for my first hunt.
You died twice. You basically did.
I only died once.
I think you died both times, and then nobody else died. We just kind of carried you, but...
Oh, maybe I did.
Go on, King.
This guy, he's just a better Rajang. He has barely any weak spots except for his base, and if you get in there, you're getting your cheeks clapped. Everything about him is just better. He has that one move where he spins and shoots at you like a bullet. It's so sick. And he can literally lift the ground out from under you with that long electric ground move. He's definitely an SS tier, by far.
Yeah, this guy is a salient, monstrous, freakish, deviant beast. And I thought of all that on my own. Okay, this guy, for those of you who don't know, I've got, and I'm about to talk about this next monster, but in Rise, I had an arch nemesis. Okay, I had a rival, you could say. And my rival was Rajang. Because the first quest we faced Rajang, we went up to the top of the mountain on Shrine Ruins, which I didn't know was a thing until we were there. And I basically got immediately carded. I went up, thought I could mess around with this little monkey. He picked me up like a ragdoll and threw me out and fucking sent me home. And ever since then, I've had a little bit of a grudge against him. And I've wanted to fucking knock up his wife and, set his children up for unsuccessful lives. And this guy is only better than that base Rajang. Just like most Sunbreak monsters, most of them have been improvements from the base ones. But he's got so many new projectile attacks. As you said, the spinning super light speed one is so sick. And he does it twice, which is needed, because I'm gonna counter the first one. And he does the rock one where, like, he'll pick up the giant fucking boulder and throw it at you. He does the one where he basically sends lines of broken ground at you. He just has a lot more attacks than just his basic, like, running towards you and punching you. And I've only gotten grabbed by him once, which the grab is an improvement. I mean, he just pounds your neck into the ground. I wish he would have, like, grabbed me and then just thrown me 30 feet into a wall, like basically body slam me into a mountain. That would have been funny, but I'm not a game designer. even though I should be. So I would say he's SS tier for me. I can't make the call that he's better than Valstrax, and I don't think I ever will. Because it's hard to be better than Valstrax unless you have an ultimate move. So for now, he's right behind him, and I've only hunted him 3 times too. That's the other thing, is I've only hunted him 3 times. But obviously I can tell he's got similarities with Rajang, and he's just a beast. I don't think there's anything else to say about that. Okay. Introducing, ladies and gentlemen, kids and boys, or boys and girls.
It's like they made this monster specifically.
Yes, that's exactly. You guys, the first time I want you to know before this is Guy's Mcgorm, okay? That I'm highlighting. This is Guy's Mcgorm. The very first time we faced this guy, we had been grinding Monster Hunter for like 10 hours straight on Saturday. Abby was with us. I was playing a poker tourney at the time, and little did I know that we'd get the best cutscene in the entire game for like 10 minutes straight of fucking just cinematography. I mean, I'm getting pocket queens here trying to make decisions on the tourney while I'm witnessing peak fiction on the big screen. It was hard to manage. It was, as Aiden says, it was a lot of dopamine rush, right? And I didn't even need to jack off for it. And so I had just one of the greatest rushes of dopamine for like that next hour to 2 hours, because when the cutscene was over and then we went in, everything about it was just so me. It was this underwater, deep dwelling sea creature, sea king that just got discovered. The location was this underwater temple that you basically go deep within the depths to find. And then you get there, and like the cutscene didn't make you see how big he was. And then you actually get in there, and he is fucking gigantic. He is an insane, he's just insanely huge. And he's not like insanely huge like Narwa or Ibushi, where they're kind of just like pushovers and you can beat their ass the entire time. He will mess with you a little bit. And I do think that event quests will come along, which will actually make him way more intimidating, because right now he's not too bad. But everything about this guy's perfect. His lore is perfect. His appearance is perfect. The one quest that you interact with him on is amazing. I mean, you've got the whatever mechanic where basically he climbs up the wall trying to escape, and you shoot him down, and Abby got completely trashed on the turret. You've got that.
Also got trashed on.
Yeah. Anyways, so he's got that. He's got all the Dragonators and artillery that you send on him. He's got the phases. He's got the third phase where everything basically turns to red blood, and you can't see shit, and explosions are going off everywhere. His tail's massive. One of his arms is massive, and then the best part about his appearance to me is his face. He's got that giant, sea, just suction that's just otherworldly. He is, as Rajang is my rival, he is my best friend. He is my brother. And he is the best monster in all of Rise and Sunbreak for me. Even though I think facing Valstrax gives me more intimidation, and, there's nobody that scares me more than a Valstrax, he just is my kind of monster. Guys, Mcgorm is. And I use most of his armor. I've got his... Yeah, that's the other thing. His layered armor is fucking perfect. I've got the face that looks...
His armor is amazing.
Yeah, his armor's amazing for really any weapon, because the Derelict playstyle is just an alpha play. It's just everything about him. It's not just his looks that relate to me. It's not just his lore that relates to me. It's his fucking gear that relates to me. It's like, oh, you want to be a risky playstyle? You want to gamble your life? Here's something that makes you stronger, but also constantly diminishes your health and makes you easily, susceptible to death. And I'm like, fuck yeah, give me more. And so they've got those skills in there. The layered armor, the helmet I wear, you guys are going to see in a YouTube video. I've got the helmet. I've got his tail that looks like I'm fucking Frieza from Dragon Ball Z. I mean, he's just perfect on every single level, and I can't wait until more quests come out for him. He is the best monster in Rise and Sunbreak. Number one. Any disagreements?
I would agree.
Huh?
I would agree.
Okay.
And it's just perfect. I don't know why. Getting to experience this, I look back on regular Monster Hunter Rise and I'm like, what even is Narwa? Narwa is nothing compared to this guy.
Yeah.
Literally, Narwa is just another bitch.
Yeah. I think, like, when I think about first encounters in Rise and just, like, peak moments, it's got to be that night we faced Valstrax and we finally beat him. And that was a true adrenaline rush of playing him. And this tops that for me. They're both amazing moments, and that's why they're at SS tier and they're the top 2 monsters. But this one beat it because it was the fact that I was playing the poker tourney. I mean, I was getting crazy hands too. Like, don't get me wrong. It wasn't just the monster and the hunt. I was fucking popping off in the tourney. Like, I think I had Ace King one time, went in against a guy with the Ace Queen, completely embarrassed him, pulled his pants down, fucking took all his money. I was really popping off on all spectrums of life. I was Snapchatting a girl at the time. I mean, I was managing a lot, right? And so it was just an amazing night and a great experience. And I don't know what else I was trying to say besides just gassing myself up right there. But this guy is fucking beautiful. And his colors, I mean, he's got the blue and the yellow and the red. The deep... You guys don't understand. Look at the card on him. He's got this, like, sea blue. This, like, light sea blue, dark sea blue kind of fixture. And... you know my layered armor's already that color. I didn't even know there was a monster like this. And I've already got that color. He's got the yellow like fucking Wario. He's got the red. I mean, he's got it all. He's got it all. Shit.
He does have it all. Except, if he was just harder, it would be so much better.
Yeah, I think his hits should not one-shot you, but should do more damage. Like, there are some hits where he'll just fucking basically land half his body on you. And we're talking like a... 3,000, I don't know how many pounds, I don't want to try and put it, but we're talking basically a country lands on you and you're a 6 foot tall hunter and you just take 20% of your health on a hit. That's a little bit unacceptable. I think that every single hit he does, bare minimum, should do 60% of your health. But
yeah,
the event quest might, like other quests, might fix that. So.
Yep.
Not to mention, we did fail the quest twice, but that's because we were kind of trolled.
That's because Avi was trolling. He was actually throwing.
Yeah, it's stupid Avi. Okay. Next.
And you got shit on too. Don't think I did.
Next, we were talking. Anyway, we were on the next monster. Yeah.
Garangolm, he's definitely an S tier. He has the 2 elements. That he pulls out. He can literally put his fire fist in the ground and launch himself like a rocket, like fucking Salvador from Borderlands 2 rocket jumping. And his arms are easily breakable, and it just feels so good to hit those. Everything about him is good. And have you fought the afflicted version of this guy?
Yeah, nobody died. Killed him in like 11 minutes. What's up?
But did you see, you know how all the afflicteds have those explosions?
Yeah.
Did you see his explosion?
It didn't stand out. I probably countered it.
Well, if you did see it, you would have been like, oh shit! Because I will get into it, but his explosion is amazing.
Okay.
It is super cool.
Yeah, I don't remember it. I probably countered it perfectly, so I just didn't get to see it. So I would say, here's the thing. When they were showing all the monster trailers, I was thinking Ludigaran would probably be an early encounter. I was thinking, like, he looks cool, but, like, he's definitely not some crazy monster. I thought Garen Gollum would be, like, the second to last monster you'd face. Because he was gigantic. He had, like, you could tell he had the fire and water elements, which was sick. But speaking of that, let's look at 6 synonyms. I'm sick of this shit. He had nauseating. I'm just kidding. He had just disgusting looking moves, and the big issue that I have with him right now is that he is a toy. He is like one of the first ones you encounter, I think Master Rank 2, and he feels that way. I don't really ever die to this guy. And like, I don't know if it's because he's slower, if it's because he doesn't have a lot of follow-up attacks, he just sort of has one-offs, but there's something missing about him where he's just not that threatening. Yeah, he'll jump on top of you, he'll bum rush you, all those things, but I don't really get too scared of this guy. And I'm still going to throw him an S because I think design-wise he looks really good. His dual blade weapons, his lance weapons, like, visually are some of the best looking weapons. His armor is one of the worst looking weapons. I mean, tied with Tetranodon for absolutely despicable looking. But he does have good, and utility-wise, I don't think there's a lot for utility, especially with dual blades. So there's not a lot of incentive to hunt him besides just having the look of the weapons. But I do like the dual elements and the water and fire. I do like the one arm that you can sort of do all the damage on, and he does have an interesting sort of look. So I'm going to keep him an S. Above Apex and Ogre, too. Actually, no, below. Gotta put him below for now.
I'm torn for this next guy. I'm torn. See, Magala. I really want... I feel like he's an S-tier monster, but... Man, he definitely could be SS. His transformation is just so cool. He has so many unique attacks. He just looks cool in general. I think I gotta throw him in SS. He's just amazing all around. He has nothing that's annoying at all. Even when you get frenzied, you're like, oh, I'm getting stamina reduction and doing more damage, and then when I beat it, I get more affinity. Thank you.
Yeah, there's going to be a few monsters remaining that are kind of in this tough spot to place where it's like, I want them on SS tier, but I don't know where because I haven't played them enough. Like, if I played when Magala was the flagship or wherever he was, and I can't remember which game it was, he'd be one of my favorites of all time. Like, I'd probably have nothing but good things to say. But because I haven't faced him too much, I've only hunted him like 3 or 4 times, and we're just talking like master rank, we're not talking event quests, he just hasn't really killed me. And again, that's a problem. I should be dying to these guys, and I'm not. And I'm not just saying I'm good. He just doesn't. His hits don't. You can say it. I think we can hold for that real quick. But he just doesn't have a lot of hard hitting moves. When he does transform the map in a way and everything turns purple and black, that is sick. I think that he and Shogun Cinetar do that perfectly. It's amazing when that happens. And under his wings, the color of that purple and sort of fluorescent colors underneath, sort of like the Astalis, very pretty, very beautiful. But I need to experience some more. I love the look of his armors and his weapons. They're some of the best in the entire game. So there's a lot of value for that. And I think Coalescence is a cool skill, except for the fact that I can't really use it in my builds. So he's definitely SS, but I can't really put him high SS right now because he just hasn't proven himself enough.
Yeah. If he was harder, too.
Yeah. And it's hard to put him between Rajang and him because I think Rajang is probably harder. And so I want to put Rajang above him, but he's got better looking weapons and gear than Rajang. So that's kind of hard to do.
Yeah.
Gosserog is S for me. I'm going to put him above Gear and Golem. Very, very easy pick for me. He's one of my personal favorites because when he transforms into I don't know what his ice arms are. When those ice arms come out, it is one of the most satisfying hitboxes in the entire game. Like hitting those ice block or the ice arms, just the sound of it, the visuals of it, it is so satisfying to just beat out. And also, he's got the best looking dual blade weapons for me with the Gelid hearts. I rock those shits. Even back in base rise when they weren't even like really meta, I still used them just because I love the look of them. So he's got some of the coolest looking dual blade weapons. His arms are super satisfying to hit. I also love that his moves, he's got that Aknasom move where basically several of his mechanics will basically stun you, or not stun you in terms of afflict you with anything, but like it'll basically send your body dead still. So like he'll basically slam you with his ice arm and then you basically get buried in the ground, or he'll like punch you across the map and basically get pushed into the sand and you sit there for a second. He's got those kind of moves where it's just like hilarious to watch and like you want to clip it every time it happens. And so I love fun fighting him. He's not as big as I'd want. He's not too much fun to ride around, but again, you can just demon flight and wail on his ice arms, and there's just so much about him that I like.
Gosserog also got so many new moves with his ice, like cleavers, whatever they are. He has like the one where he dashes forward and swings both arms out to the side. He has the follow-up after he slams his cleaver down. He lifts it up and swipes at the same time. He has the one where he does the super spinny move twice in a row.
He does the one where he like smashes the ground and basically it's sort of Furious Rajang's one where the ground kind of comes up and breaks out. He has the projectiles with the ice from his arms when he's in the ice stage and he basically flings ice at you. So I'm a big fan of this guy.
He's definitely an S tier.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him. Huge fan.
Alright, Baggy, dog shit tier.
No, let's think about this. Remember when we faced Afflicted Baggy and he had some of the highest fire non-resistance of all time, and you could basically just throw on a fire dual blade and do insane damage and all across his body.
See, that's okay. Wait. That's what I thought at the beginning when we faced him together. I faced this guy solo, and all he does is spam the move where he jumps back and shoots the sleep potion at you. I literally fell asleep like 10 times trying to fight this guy. He is dog shit tier. Dog shit.
Okay.
Nothing else about him is great.
I'm putting him in B behind Apex Arzuros because I think before I had him in C or dog shit, but playing him now, even I'm the last person that wants to face an easy enemy. Okay, get that straight. But sometimes I want to put on fire dual blades, and I want to beat the living hell out of some monsters. And if I want to do that, I'm gonna queue up with 4 people, and I'm gonna go to this guy and kill Baggy because his fire not resistance, his fire anti-resistance, whatever the fuck it's called, is so easy. You hit his entire body and you just do tons of fire damage. All his body is pretty much critable. I don't like that it's not a big body and he moves around quite a lot, but he's not nearly as annoying as Raytheon to me or normal Arzuros, and so he's B tier. And yeah, but I mean B tier is kind of high because that's like average, so I'm actually going to put him C tier on top of it. Is that cool? Is that great? Is that Kula UQ or no? That's Zuchi C tier as well. Bottom of C tier. Like they tried to add one little kickflip or whatever in Master Rank, but that's all they did. He's still boring to face. He's still a pushover. One of the easiest things to kill. Armor's doggy. Weapons are doggy. I'm not too big of a fan of hunting him, so I just never really do. And there's just not a lot going on. He's a C tier.
Yep, nothing to say there. Great Rocky. Dog shit tier. Dog shit. Poison and sleep are the worst statuses in the fucking game. And these guys are both the small basic raptors who spam the shit out of both of those. And it's just like, I should be fighting an easy-ass monster right now. But this guy is making it so fucking annoying that I just want to kill myself.
Yeah, and I want to kill you too. I want to kill you too. Don't get it mistaken. But I agree with this dog shit take because they are dog shit. Most raptors should be in this tier. I'm just being a nice guy today. But my first dog shit does go to Great Rocky because it is a raptor that has a poison effect. And that automatically qualifies for this tier because, again, poison is awful. It doesn't really affect you at his level. Like, it's not going to be Camellia's poison where you actually need an antidote, but it's just the fact that you're poisoned. It's just like getting stung by a bee. It's never going to kill you, but goddamn is it annoying. And I don't like fighting him. He's got too much movement, just like Baggy, but just adding in the poison and yeah, I mean, his weapons, his gear, it's just all pathetic. It's like, why are you even in the game? Why are you even in the game when you've got Apex Zenogur? This guy would absolutely rip your neck out. I mean, why are we talking about this guy? No more time. Gerardados, I'm gonna put him in B. I'm gonna put him in C. Actually, no, I'm gonna put him in the top of B. I've had mixed feelings on him forever, but I just don't. I can't. Okay, guys, Mcgorm is my new sea monster, so I could give a fuck about any of the other leviathans or water monsters. For the longest time, I was putting him higher because I was like, oh, you know, he's a water monster though, and I love water, and like, yeah, this and that. No, he sits on the ground the entire time, which as a demon flight dual blader, it is so annoying. I have figured out a way around it because I'm disgusting, but that's besides the point. It's just the fact that he's always on the ground, he's rolling around. The art has more color than him in person. He's actually got colors on his art right here, but he's got no fucking colors in person. He looks like Mudrin took a shit all over his body, and he's just soaked in brown. And it's not.
He just looks like a turd.
Yeah, he just looks like a giant snake turd that was saved up 3 steaks and was constipated for 3 days straight, and I fucking took it all out on this guy. This guy is not good looking. He's not fun to fight against. He's very annoying to fight against, actually. And like his arms have that 3-2-1 slot, so like he's got some value in hunting him, I guess, but besides that, he's just not too much. I mean, I'm still gonna put him top of B though, because he's a Leviathan, right? Like, fuck yeah.
No, I'm putting him in C tier. He's just not great all around. Just kind of awful. Like every time I think Gerardos is one of the monsters that I've fought the least. I think I've killed this guy like 3 times total, and I've hated every single one of those fights. It's just so annoying.
Yeah.
Kezu or Dickface.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. See, his paralysis is really fucking annoying. But I think I'm gonna throw him in A or B. Somewhere. I'll throw him in A. He's got an interesting, unique look. He has a unique look. He has an elemental, which makes the fight interesting, even though the elemental is paralysis, which isn't the most annoying, or it's not the best either. He does have some more interesting attacks with Master Rank, which makes the fight much better, but he's just nothing special, you know?
Yeah, I would say I put him in A, the middle of A, because that's just where he is. He's always been that way for me. He's like a good monster. He is a clown, right? He's got a clown face. He's got this like shark but sort of virgin-like appearance that you can't quite pin. And he's got that long neck that sort of just stretches out when he hits you, and it's kind of funny. He's a funny interaction all the time. And when he does stun you, it can be annoying. Like if you're soloing him, it is a pretty bad experience. But when you're playing and like your teammate gets stunned and then he like finishes them off, it's pretty funny. I do love him. I would put him higher, honestly, because watching you get insta-kill with a zero-sum discharge did make me like him more. Because it was funny to see him handed to you like that. But I'll be respectful and keep him in A. He's also got, what's it called, the Pale Extract. So he's got one of those he's one of the only monsters that give you that valuable Pale Extract. So there's value in hunting him. He doesn't really have good weapons or anything, but or armor, but I do that one material and for some of those interactions. So I'm going to keep him in A. He's good.
Yeah.
Kula Yaku, I'm going to put him in B, right above Bishatin. He's just kind of the same. Like I don't see any too much difference between them all. Like yeah, you could throw rocks or whatever it is, but like they're all the same to me.
Yep. He's a B tier for me, but other than that, same.
Yeah.
Kushala Deora. Man. God. I'm gonna throw him in A tier. I've warmed up to him a lot more. He used to be absolute dog shit.
You're welcome.
Because he's
You're welcome.
No, not because of you. Not because of you.
You're welcome.
Don't get it confused.
5 flash bombs a game. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Don't get it confused. He used to be dog shit because he's always in the air and he's always running, moving to new locations, and he has everything about this one. But now with Master Rank, he's not in the air as much. He still moves locations like he's scared all the time. But he is an Elder Dragon, and he is at least decently hard, I guess. So he's
A plus for me. He's right behind Astalis, right in between Astalis and Bezel Geese. I warmed up to him as well, but I never had him as bad as you had him. Guys, Aiden has like probably 400 hours on Monster Hunter now, and he still doesn't run flash bombs. Isn't that sad? Like, how can you do that? That's just embarrassing. Like, I get embarrassed when I go on a hunt, and people are like, flash this guy, flash. I'm like, my teammate didn't bring any. Like, it's just fucking sad. This guy is...
Yeah, because I always have you to flash him for me, man.
Yeah. This guy is the best to flash. You can throw the flash like a football across the map, and it'll still somehow affect him. And I love that. I love that I can throw a flash no matter what's happening, and he will get bombed, and whether he's in the air and drop down, or he's like about to attack someone, he gets pushed back. I love that it always affects him. He's got not ultimate moves, but he basically has ultimate moves like a Magmadron would have, where if you get hit by that tornado blast that basically throws you up in the air and you don't have a wire bug, it's a one-shot move. Because he'll follow up with another tornado blast that will actually one-shot you. He's got the giant sort of one where he basically pulls everyone in, and then he does a big tornado. He's got the several tornadoes that he'll send out at once that are just a big spectacle. Like, I think... Huh?
Those are annoying.
I mean, if you can't counter him. But I like him a lot. He's warmed up. He does move around a lot, but so do a lot of them. Gosserog moves around more than any monster, I think. And Gosserog's S tier for me. He could move around a lot, but sometimes you flash him and they don't. It's just part of the game. I'm not going to fault him for that. I like everything about him. You can constantly keep him on the ground. Like, if you've got a good team, you guys are going to have him on the ground 50% of the time. And he's just going to sit there and take shit. And so I like that. He is A+, near the top. He's a good Elder Dragon. Yeah. Dog shit. Moving on.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Like, it'll be dog shit. Haven't fought this one. That's Lucent Naga Kuga. I don't know why they have that here.
No. Oh yeah, it is. I mean, we'll just leave it here, but he's gonna be better than I hope he's better than the base one. But even if he is better, I can't imagine him being really that good. Because for me, I'm going to go ahead and put Naga Kuga in a B tier at the bottom. No, that's unfair. I'll put him at the top of B tier in front of Duradados. Naga Kuga is kind of like Barioth, where he's got weird attacks that just hit you, and he's got like the way that his hitboxes, not his hitboxes, but when he's hitting you, the way that they can kind of reach you is annoying. I liked him a lot at the beginning. Like his appearance is very cool. He's a menacing monster, and he's got a good design. But when you actually fight him, he just moves around too much. His Wyvern Ride isn't all that fun. His armor and weapons are pretty good, like especially in base rise. His weapons were some of the best across a lot of weapons, so he had a lot of utility in fighting him. But the more and more I fight him, the more and more I get annoyed. He just moves too much, and yeah.
I don't know. I like him more in Master Rank. When I first fought him in Master Rank, he was like even more annoying than it was in regular Rise, but like once you know what he's gonna do, it's not that hard to dodge what he like his attacks. Like he does the double tail flip or the double tail smash, and Obby he always used to get 100 to 0 by both of the hits, and I'm like, Obby, just stay on the ground after you get hit first, and then he never died to that again. I like him a lot better in Master Rank. I'm going to throw him in A tier.
He just has too many attacks at once. Like, I feel I have to go back to the camp and refill the regular potions over and over again. Because it's not necessarily that they hit you for 80% of your health, but there's just several that'll hit you for like 40%. You're like, well, damn, I think I'm going to have to pop a potion here. And then you're popping a potion and he just rushes you and hits you with the shoulder on the way out, and it just ticks me off over and over again, and he moves too much, and there's not really a weapon that I've found. The only weapon that I really like playing against him with is Insect right now, and I'm going to keep him in top B. I could put him in A, and I might just put him in A, like right above Anjanath, but that's about as good as it would be.
Magmadron.
No, Ludigaran.
Oh yeah, Ludigaran. He's a solid A+. He's really cool. He has a cool vibe, I guess you could say, where he's a wolf and then he gets those really long spikes when he howls. His howl's really cool. He looks cool. His fight is cool.
I'm sorry. What was that? Would you say that he's cool?
He is pretty cool. He's icy too, so he's physically cool. He's just not the most difficult, so he remains an A+.
Yeah, I would say he's very gallant. You know, he's magnanimous, you could say. Where I got him an A+ right behind Astalis again, right in front of Kushala. My big deal with him is that maybe I need to fight him again now that I've got a lot more purple weapons, but holy shit, can I fucking get a crit? I mean, it's harder to crit this guy than it is Garen Gollum. And that's saying something. Garen Gollum looks like you shouldn't be able to crit him, but this guy you should. You should be able to wreck every single part of his body, and yet it's like you're fucking touching white numbers every single area, and it's so aggravating. Yes, he's got good mechanics. He actually can pick you up, I think, or like grab you. I just haven't gotten that interaction yet. I haven't fought him enough either. Like, it's kind of sad. Like him, Garen Gollum, I just haven't fought enough. Same as Malzeno, I haven't really fought them a lot. But it's also because there's so many to fight. And but I do like a lot about him. The transition is great. He's decent. He's not too annoying with how fast his moves are. They're decent damage, even though you probably will never die to this guy. And if you do, you suck dick. Or pussy. I mean, I don't care either way. And I would say he's... and I would say A+. I'd say A+.
Magmadron. He's definitely an S tier monster.
Yeah.
S tier all the way. Just a cooler, better looking version of Mudrin.
I'm having trouble right now because my Apex Zenogur is at the top of S tier and I haven't been able to break anyone past him, but like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna put him lower than that, and I've got Magmadron at the top now and Gosserog right behind him. Because for me, he's just way more of a spectacle than Gosserog is. And that's why he's higher and why he's at the top of S tier. He's definitely an improvement from Mudrin. The fire is a great aspect.
The explosion when he comes out of the ground and he places that rock down.
Yeah, he's got like 3 different explosions with the fire that are similar to like a Teostra blast and shit that are just so fun to watch. He will kill you if you aren't careful, so it's not like he's a pushover. He's better than the regular Mudrin in every single way. His weapons are very valuable, like the dual blade, the specifier dual blade. Armor-wise, I don't really know too much about it, but I like hunting him. I'll go hunt him. If anyone wants to hunt him, I always like hunting him. And he's just got so many unique interactions and mechanics going on in the hunt that you never kind of get bored of him.
Yeah. Man, You go ahead with this next guy.
It's pretty simple for me. I've got Mcgorm number 1, Valstrax number 2, Magnamala number 3, in SS tier. He's a great flagship monster. I think that the master rank has improved on him because now he's got the double tail whip vortex, which is it's just amazing that they added that. And that's not even trolling. The harder you make him, the better it is. He's just a perfect balanced monster, and we're going to talk about Teostra at some point, but he's just perfectly balanced, where good amount of projectiles. He's got the vortex. The vortex, it's sort of like Gormagala, where it's that purplish color. That it's not the normal blue or red or green. It's like this purple sort of mesmerizing color. And if you're a dual blade player and you counter into it, it's like you're tripping sack for 2 seconds, and it's just a fun time to fight this guy. When you face him in Shrine Ruins, when he's in the lower part below that sub camp, he'll just teleport across the map, basically, just keep flying across at you, and just keep bulleting around the map. He's got a lot of good hit points where you can constantly crit him. His face is fun to hit, his arm's fun to hit, his tail's fun to hit. He, decent amount of challenge, like he can kill you, but he's also not like impossible to kill. And I just think he's overall a very balanced monster and perfect for SS tier and flagship and in game.
Yep. I would agree with pretty much everything. He's sick. He has those arms which are easily broken with the hammer, and it's just amazing to hit him, smacking him in the face and having him flip over.
And I don't know what it is about his moves, but I feel like he's the I know exactly how to play against him better than any other monster.
Probably because we faced him so many times.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Like, I've probably faced him the most for those purple magma orbs, but I just feel every single move he does, for the most part, I can counter every single move. I know the timings. I know even if I'm not looking at him, I know what move he's about to use, and it's a great feeling to be at that point against him. Whereas a lot of these other ones that I've been facing forever, I still sometimes will get hit randomly. But I just feel like I can play him really well. Scorned. I mean, okay, Lucid. I'd probably put him like if we have played him before, I'd probably put him A+, because he's got to be at least A+ if they're going to introduce him in a title update. But I don't know if he'll ever be S or anything higher. Scorn Magnamalo is probably going to be SS. I've heard that he's pretty much better version of Magnamalo, and he's more fun fight. So I'm probably going to have him a little bit above him at some point when we do face him.
Yeah, same. But I really got to see. I hope he's difficult, man.
Yeah.
I really do.
It's not I don't think he'll ever be below SS. It's not like I'm going to fight him and be like, damn, base Magmal is better than this. It's not going to be that way, but I don't know how high he's going to go up. And he's definitely not going to touch Guy's Mcgorm. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Malzeno. Man, I really want to throw him in SS just because he teleports around the map and has a lot of cool moves with that red orb shit. I think I'm throwing him SS. He's just so cool. And his armor makes the hammer amazing. That you can heal off of broken parts, off of damage done to broken parts. All of his other armor pieces are amazing too. Like, everything about him is just amazing.
See, I disagree. It's kind of tough. I've got him in S right below Magmadron and above Gosserog. Because from a spectacle standpoint, he doesn't really have that. He doesn't have too much.
Yes, he does.
Maybe I don't pay attention too much, but like, he doesn't have these crazy transitions. He doesn't have these crazy projectiles that come out of nowhere. The only thing that I always notice that stands out is, of course, his teleports. But the teleports are sort of like just a scare. It's like watching a horror movie that's just a jump scare. Like, it's not actually scary. It's just the fact that it comes out of nowhere. Because when he does teleport, he never immediately follows up. I wish that the moment he teleported, he did some kind of like backstabbing move that basically one-shot you. And it's basically a bullshit mechanic that constantly kills you. That would be funny to me. And I would love him for that. And I'd put him in SS immediately if that was the case. But when he does teleport, he'll kind of stare at you for like 2 seconds and give you a second to rebound and figure out what you want to do against it. And that's very lame to me. So I think
it's lame that his teleports don't insta-kill.
Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying? And again, if I'm like hunting a monster, like if I want to go on a hunt, I'm maxed out everything, I just want to hunt something, I'm probably going to go hunt Magmadron over Malzeno. It's just a lot more spectacle in a Magmadron fight, a lot more fun in it versus a Malzeno to me. And also, I'm not a big fan. I mean, his colors work. Like, I'm not going to be a disagreement with his colors, but I'm more of a blue guy, so his whole like lighter red, grayish, black, white colors, that's not my kind of mixture of colors to me. So that's the thing. I don't like the way his weapons look. I don't like the way that his armor looks.
You don't like the way his weapons
the actual material of them, like the structure of them, the shape of them is cool, but then the coloring on it is not, and that's a big deal.
Your opinion is whack.
Mizutsune, A+. Yeah, I put it A+. I'd put it right above the crab. Big meaty claws. Not as good as the Apex version, but solid monster. You pretty much bully this guy the entire fight. The Apex one will bully you sometimes, but this guy gets bullied himself. His bubbles aren't as great looking as the Apex version, but they're still good. And great tail to whack on and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'd throw him A+ as well, just at the very, very bottom.
I'd put him above the crab and the Baroth.
Nah, fuck that.
Maybe not above the crab, but above Baroth.
Narwa. Oh wait, this is All-Mother.
Yeah, can we talk about this? Why the fuck do they keep doing this Narwa and Narwa All-Mother? They're basically the same, aren't they?
Not really. Their fights are completely different.
Okay, never mind. I'll shut the fuck up.
Yeah. All-Mother is a good fight. It is.
Okay, so this All-Mother, is that the event quest basically?
Yeah, that's the one where you go underground where the things are spinning around in circles.
Okay. Gotcha.
Narwa is above ground and it doesn't do any of the crazy attacks. I throw All-Mother in S tier. Yeah.
It's hard
It's
to
just
Go ahead.
It's just a good fight. She has the spinning Dragonators that will knock you out if you're not careful, and then she has that insta-kill move that will kill you if you're not up on one of the platforms.
Yeah.
If it just wasn't like Narwa, like the look and the fact that they're always in the air, and if it just wasn't Narwa, it would be so cool.
Yeah, I've got her at the top of S tier above Magmadron because, again, it's about the spectacle. And when you go hunt Narwa the All-Mother and you go into that little purplish cave, that's a great area to fight in. It's mesmerizing, it's immersive, and all the attacks are immersive. Like, you could even say it's more immersive than most SS. You could say it's the second most immersive fight, right behind Mcgorm, where they've got all the different ring attacks, all the different electricity attacks, all the interactions with the Dragonators, the giant blue bomb that comes out of nowhere. Like, when you're in the fight, there's so many different things going on that are affecting you, but it's almost everything except for the monster itself. And I talked about this in my script where it's like, she's probably got the best projectile game of all the monsters, but nothing else. It's not like she's going to be in your face slapping you around like Rajang. She's not going to be doing that. She's going to be sending rings your way that are still cool as fuck, but if you can dodge the rings, you can win the fight. And I'm not going to say the fight's easy because, goddamn, sometimes that quest will put me out. But I do think that she is a great fight as a spectacle, and so she's top of S tier, but I don't want to put her SS just because I'm not a big fan of Narwa.
Yeah. That's pretty much exactly my reasoning. It's just the fact that it's Narwa.
Yeah. Pookie, A tier. Same thing as sort of Naga Kuga and Anjanath around that area. I'm going to put him above just because I think that I like the look more of Pookie. I like the tongue. It's sort of like the Kezu neck. The poison, yes, it's poison, but it's the same thing with Great Ragi where you don't even need to pop an antidote. It's so insignificant. Like, it'll run out, and by the time it runs out, it maybe does 10 or 20% of your health. It's not really a factor. I like that. The neck comes around. There's a lot of crit spots on it. Decent size to attack. Good interactions. Weapon-wise and armor-wise, not too much, but I did use the Gunlance weapon, and so yeah.
Yeah, so everything you just said was incorrect. Pookie is a dog shit tier monster.
Ooh.
Especially in Master Rank.
Ooh.
In Master Rank, they added the new move where Pookie runs around and sprays poison.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
And then sits in it.
Yeah.
So if you want to attack him, you're gonna get poisoned. You have to walk through poison.
Yeah, he does that, like, sort of that spread of sort of poison cloud.
Yes, yeah. And it's awful. It's actually awful.
So good.
He's a dog shit monster.
No, I see. Again, it's just like, yeah, the poison and all that, but to me, it's just like it's just a visual. It's not even impacting the fight. Like, if it actually impacted the fight and I had to go step out and I had to pop 5 antidotes a hunt because the poison could actually kill me, then I'd be on the same opinion of, yeah, dog shit, get poison out of here. But it's the fact that it's so insignificant, it never really bothers you, and it's
not insignificant in Master Rank.
I think
it's
it is.
Really not.
I think it is. I mean,
It does like 30% of your health if you don't do anything about it.
That's okay.
This guy.
I'm keeping it A. You're delusional.
You're delusional.
Okay. Pyra could. I mean, sure, I'll do it. Pyra. I like her, but Mudrin's just a way better sort of fire monster to me. I'll put her A+ right. God, my A+ is just hard to like put between them. I'll put it right behind Ludigaran. No, I'm gonna put it right behind Bezel Geese. Like, I like Pyra. There's nothing bad about her at all. She's a great entry, especially the base one too. But I don't really go hunting for Pyra or Kadachis. Like, I don't know why it is, but I just don't go hunting for them. I don't know if it's just they're not too immersive. I don't know what about the fight is, but I like them. They're just not insane. A+.
Yeah, I think I put both Pyra Kadachi and Kadachi in A+.
Yeah.
They're fun, they're easy, they have some cool moves, but not a lot. Kind of just wailing on a monster for 15 minutes, if that.
I like when I first played Kadachi and she put me in a cocoon and I got followed up and killed off of that. I thought it was hilarious, but you never really get that anymore. And I like the Pyra version better, I think, because when she sends the little arachnoids out, she sort of like does fire paths with them and they do explosions, and so that's cool. And she'll also like drag herself into you. But there's something about it where I mean, it's A+, so it's not a bad monster, and it's right behind Bezel Geese and above Espinos, just not anything more.
Yeah, just not anything too special.
I'm actually going to put on Mudrin above them, right behind Bezel Geese. Oh yeah, you go ahead.
Zhang is S tier.
Yep.
Of course, he's the OG bully.
Yep, that's a good way of putting it.
Insane. Everything about him is super cool. He'll beat your ass and then fuck your mom afterwards.
I'll beat your ass, kid.
I'll beat your ass.
I'll beat your goddamn ass, you son of a bitch. Yeah, I already shared the story of Rajang. I think he's going to go below Furious Rajang, even though I've only faced Furious a couple of times. But Furious just has a little bit more going on than him, and still, I would gladly go fight a regular Rajang. He's a lot of fun to fight, because he's one of the most aggressive, if not the most aggressive. He just is in your face, trying to rip your wig off every single chance he gets, and I absolutely love that about him. So yeah, he's SS.
Yep.
Rathalos, A. I'll put him right. I'll put him in front of all of the. I'll put him in front of Apex Diablos. I'll put him in, Apex Diablos, but behind Barioth. Yeah, he's got the blast attack, or maybe that's just the Apex version.
That's just the Apex.
But I mean, he's decent. He's got fire element. He's got a couple of unique attacks. He looks good, and he serves its purpose as just a good monster.
Yep, just a solid A tier monster.
Okay.
Raytheon, we both know where this is going.
Dog shit?
C tier.
Yeah, I'll put her right behind the Apex version. They're the identical. It's just, I mean, god damn it, I hate that fucking tail whip. I hate it. Royal Ludwroth, one of my favorite Leviathans. I think Apex beats out Royal Ludwroth, but Royal Ludwroth's grown on me. I'm going to put him in A above Barioth. And again, it's my soft side for water monsters, so I put him there. He bathes in the waterfall before every time you interact with him. He's got a couple of interesting sort of like, even his master rank version now where he kind of lifts you up. I like that. I think they added a couple new moves that I can't quite remember that enhance the fight. So I think he's a solid, good monster in introduction. And his neck is sort of like that thick. He's like that Bezel Geese neck, where it's just very prominent.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw him in B tier just because he's so easy. It's kind of just like you're beating this poor monster's ass.
Yeah, he is easy, and his weapons are pretty embarrassing.
And there's literally nothing you could use. His armor, his weapons, they're all trash.
Yeah. Seregios. Now you shut the fuck up for a second.
I actually have warmed up.
You blow my nuts here. My opinions on Seregios are S tier above. Dude, my S tier is so hard, but basically it's got Narwa top, then Magmadron, then Seregios, then Malzeno, then Gosserog, Apex Zenogur, Garagal. Seregios is the second best looking monster that no, because there's Gormagala and stuff, but he is one of the best, like, out of all the dragons. I think he's better looking than Malzeno. I think he's better looking than Astalis is there too. Fuck. He's just a good-looking monster. Great addition to the series. Just to this game. The blade home scale, or whatever that skill is, where basically you dodge and you sharpen your weapon. I think that's a cool thing. I like his sort of leg jab attack. That's just a very, like... I just feel like I'm playing in an open Monster Hunter world when I face him. Like I'm playing the old games. It just feels very reminiscent and sort of like vibey the way you face him. I think his weapons look so cool. The scales all over him are great. Like he doesn't have a lot of colors on him, like different colors, but it works. Just the way his appearance is, his giant claws on his legs. I just love him. I think he's way better than Esmenas. Like I think that those two were kind of meant to be on the same level, but to me, Seregios is way better. S tier.
They are on the same level. Seregios is A+, although he looks really cool. The one attack is really annoying to dodge, but like once I got keeping sway with the hammer, I could dodge it all the time and it wasn't that hard. He does that bleed, which isn't really that annoying, and most of the time you don't even need to get it off of you. He's just, he's A+. I put him like right underneath Mudrin.
I haven't fought him too much either, but I also like that he's got the similar style like Gosserog, where when he hits you sometimes it'll just put you on the ground for a second, and that's kind of funny to me.
Yeah. Shogun Magala. I'm putting him lower than regular Gora Magala. I'm putting him in S tier. He's pretty much the same. His colors are worse. He does have the horns all the time, but that doesn't really make up for it because it's just like some little horns on his face. His transformation isn't as cool as Gora Magala's.
I think it's actually on the same level, maybe better.
Nah, I'd put Shigaru Magala in one tier lower, and all of Shigaru Magala's weapons are worse. So.
Yeah, I'd put Shigaru Magala S2. I put it right behind Narwa. It's kind of hard to put it in front of Mudrin, honestly. I'm going to put it right behind it. Like, great monster, but maybe I need to hunt it more. It's just, I don't have an incentive to right now. I like that he transforms every 2 minutes. That's kind of fun that you get to experience it a lot. But there's just something about Gore that's a little bit better, in my opinion. Something about it.
Yep.
Shogun Cinetar. This guy is A+. I'm going to put him right above Pyra Kadachi and behind Mudrin. He's got some of the coolest sound effects, like the way that he sort of scuttles under the ground when he sort of runs at you. Just his like slicing noise effects, they're very fun to just listen to, like a Bezel Geese. The under the ground attacks are also very scary. Like, unlike most attacks where if they come from the air, you can react to them. When it's under the ground, it's kind of hard to react. It just instantly hits you. So there's a lot of scare and when he goes underground. His weapons, at least on the dual blades, look so cool. And I like the look of him. There are two issues that keep him from being any higher. One is that there's no utility. Well, there's a couple or a few. There's not a lot of utility. His weapons aren't that good, at least from what I've seen. His armor's not that good from what I've seen. He inflicts that bleed or whatever it is, where basically you can't recover a certain amount of health, which is annoying. And he does have that giant, he does like stretch his claws out that basically can cover an entire area, and so it's hard to dodge. And the biggest flaw to me is just like the crab, where you can only really attack his literal face, and you have to be right in front of it where he's going to claw you. And that's annoying.
Yeah, he's a B tier monster for me. If every one of his attacks weren't like this 360 wide sweeping attacks where you literally could not be attacking him, or you need to have like a quick counter, then he'd be fine. But like every single one of his attacks, he just are massive, and you cannot be next to him, or else you're getting hit, and it's just aggravating.
Huh.
Somnicam. Dog shit tier. Sleep is the worst. And this is the worst person to go against for.
Yeah, I got
Awful.
a top of B tier for me. Like, appearance-wise, I'm not a big fan. I don't know what it is. Like, it's kind of like he's got a fucking cum rag on his face, and like it's just dripping all over his ears. It's weird. I have a mixed feelings about the sleep, because part of me does hate it when I'm out of the fight for 15-20 seconds, but part of me just kind of sits there and laughs, because you get hit by it and then you kind of just sit there and you spam your buttons trying to recover, and then your guy eventually gets on his knees, and then you keep spamming your buttons, and then you're like, all right, I give up, and then he basically falls in the water and he sits down there drowning for 5 seconds. And I think that is a little bit of a comedic interaction. It is annoying at times, but it's a mixed bag to me. So if I didn't feel that way, he'd probably be C or dog shit, but I'm not. I'm kind of mixed on the sleep part. He is a pushover. He's easy to kill, and but when I'm looking at the B tier monsters, I mean, he's above all these B tiers for me. And he's got the one of I don't want to say the best, because there's a lot of good looking dual blade weapons, but he's got one of the coolest designs for dual blade weapons. It's like these, dude, suck on a raccoon's tit, man. These things are actually good looking. Like they've got this. It's like a demon's hands, and it looks so good. Oh
no, dude, it's so fucking bad.
No,
it is actually so.
Get your eyes checked. Get your eyes checked. Oh, they're so good looking. Teostra.
I think I'm bumping him down to S tier.
Yeah, it's just so hard with the new monsters. Like, it's hard to put him. I think I gotta put him S tier right behind Magmadron too. He's got the ultimate blast, but I like Magmadron's better. He leaves the orbs behind that explode, but I like Bezel Geese's version, or I like Mcgorm's versions better. He's similar to Magmalo, where he's balanced in a lot of ways. He's got decent projectiles, and he's got decent in-your-face attacks. He kind of does the floating stuff where he'll attack you and dive on you. He's like, what's that guy from Stranger Paradise? That, like, Chimera. He's sort of like Chimera in those attacks where he's floating up and then he dives towards you. So I think he's got some scare to him, and he's got some of those ultimate moves that are fun to experience. And you can't ignore his utility, like the Kaiser Crown, all the weapons that he uses. He's got very, very useful parts. So there is reason to hunt him, and I just think he's a good balance.
Yeah, I think he's just solid throughout everything. I did have him SS, but like I said before, I mean, he's just been power crept. Like, Magmadron's is really, his explosion is really good, and Mcgorm also has that same kind of aspect.
Yeah.
Magnamalo does to a certain extent, so I mean, it's just like, gotta be S tier.
Yeah, he's no longer unique. A lot of people can do what he does.
Tetranada. Man. E tier, I guess. It's kind of funny when he gets all fat with water, but...
Yeah, I'm putting him bottom of A tier, right in front of Anjanath, because if you die to this guy, which I did die to his afflicted version twice in a hunt, but if you die to this guy, seek help. It is, I don't see how you could die to him, but he's basically a better version of Arzuros. He's bigger, he's got a more fun belly flop. When he picks you up and gargles you out and eats you and farts you and shits on you and all that, that's great. Weapon-wise, armor-wise, some of the most useless. I don't think I've ever used his weapons or armor at all. So there's like no utility whatsoever with him. But hitting his belly and critting his belly and head and just the giant hit ranges for it all is kind of fun if you just want to wail on a monster and let loose some steam. Like, let's say, client yelled at you at work, or girlfriend's thinking about cheating on you, or says your dick's not big enough, things like that. You want to get into this hunt as fast as you can, because Tetranodon will take it all for you. He will. He's a giant punching bag, and I like that.
Yeah. He's just nothing to me. Literally nothing to me.
Normal Narla.
God, I'm tempted to throw her an A tier.
Yeah, I was like dragging her up to get her into S, and I was like, wait, but we're talking regular Narwa at the top of Coral Palace, where she doesn't really do anything. And then I was looking at A+, and I was like, yeah, but I don't even like her appearance compared to all these. I'm probably going to throw her bottom of A+.
Yeah, I guess it's fair.
Like, I don't really die to her, so that's an issue. You were talking in-game monsters that can't kill you. I mean, what the fuck are you thinking, Capcom? But the spectacle isn't really there, which is the whole reason why I like Narwa the All-Mother. The arena you fight her in the top of Coral Reefs is boring as hell. Like, it is actually depressing to fight on that map. And, yeah, I mean, as a Dual Blades player, like, the only good thing is that you can sometimes ride down the entire body, but that's it. That's it.
Yeah, Angie, I can't really use... it's just bad. It's just a bad final boss.
Yeah.
But it is a final boss.
Yeah. Not nearly the same step as the Darkness Manifest Strange Preparedness final boss, but...
that wasn't that great either.
Oh, man. Man. Are we friends?
All you do is just roll, hold B,
Lose my
attack.
number. Lose my
roll,
number.
Hold B.
Lose my number. Tigrex. I got him A+. I got him in that Baroth, Mizutsune range. Kind of hard to pick between them all. I'd probably put him above... No. Look, base rise, he was useful. Armor, not really, but he's got some good weapons for raw damage. He does have a good monster look, but with the way that monsters are now, like with, all these crazy ones, he doesn't really stand out as much. He's got the same problem Naga Kuga, where he attacks a lot, and he's giant arms and wings, and head just kind of hits you randomly, and it's annoying. But you kind of get used to him. But he's A+.
Yeah, I don't think I've only fought this guy once in Master Rank.
Yeah, I haven't fought him too much.
Literally nothing of his is useful anymore.
Yeah.
Like everything else, there's just better versions now. I don't know. I think he's just an A tier monster.
Yeah, I was thinking, I just don't even like going to hunt him. I'd probably put him maybe around Rathalos then. Toby Kadachi. The Flying Squirrel.
He actually got tamed down a lot more in Master Rank. Like, he doesn't move around as much. He still does a bunch of attacks, but he doesn't, move great distances like Naga Kuga does. I'd throw him in A tier, just because his fight is better than Naga Kuga, but he doesn't look as good as Naga Kuga.
I'd say... I've always been a fan of his color, especially the way his color looks on his armor and weapons, but his armor was just slightly not good enough for dual blades. There was always one option that was a little bit better, so I never used it. Weapon-wise, it was kind of the same story. It was good, but there was always something a little bit better. But finally, in Sunbreak, his Kadachi Greaves are actually pretty much standard for dual blades, so there is value in fighting him and getting that. He is a lot tamer, I think, too, where you're not getting stunt paralysis as much. He's not flying around as much, which could be a problem. You kind of want him to be sort of a loose cannon and just all over the place. But I mean, he's just he's a good monster, but he doesn't really stand out anymore.
Yeah.
Volvidon, I like this guy. He's a troll, and he's probably going to be around Baroth level, A+. I'm going to put him above Nara as a little slight to that monster. He's got he's a bowling ball. It's like I'm facing Rahul in Monster Hunter. He's just a bowling ball. He's coming at me. He's got the tongue stick out like Chameleos. He's got the fire. He has the farting, of course, which you can't ignore that. I mean, come on.
That's the best part.
The guy's fucking tooting all over you. You can't even pop potions when it happens. I don't know how that's a thing. Like, you can't absorb anything, but it is a troll of a fight. Like, he's not an intimidating monster, but he is a funny monster like Kezu.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd throw him an A+ too. Ibushi. That's just a worse version of Arm, so hey.
Yeah, I had her right behind her at A+. I'll put her A. Because it's the same, you're fighting in the same Coral Palace. Like, if we were just playing base Rise, then you could make the argument that they're higher for utility because it's the best hunt for parts. Right? Or is that's still Nara? Yeah. So
Nara was.
Okay, so then, yeah, there's not really an argument there. And I mean, the only good thing is just that it's a giant body, so it's not like a tiny normal monster body. It's a giant body that you get to ride along as a dual blade player, but that's it. There's just not too much, and it's sad.
It is sad. It's really sad.
A tier. Zenogur, I'm gonna put him A+. He's again same range as Volvidon, Baroth, Mizutsune, all them. Just a good monster, good introduction, good looks, good size, decent power, decent card ability, but the Apex version's significant improvement.
Yep. Yes, I agree. It's just kind of... He kind of just falls into the pack. There's nothing really too extreme about him. But the emergency, Apex emergency, that's so much better.
Yeah. So did you have guys Mcgorm at your top?
No, I had Valstrax.
What's your SS tier?
SS is then now this is just assuming with scored Magmadron, but it's probably going to be Valstrax, guys Mcgorm, scored Magmadron, Furious Rajang, Magmadron, Malzeno, Gora Magala.
Okay. That's pretty respectful. I have guys Mcgorm, and that's not going to fucking change. I've got Valstrax, then it'd probably be Scorn Magdamalo, then Furious Rajang, then regular Magdamalo, then Gormagala, then regular Rajang. But it's really the top three, like the guys Mcgorm, the Valstrax, and the Scorn are probably going to be standard.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a long tier list, but like, it was a good update. I'm pretty much a big fan of all the new monsters they introduced. There's like a couple that were a big letdown, but besides those, so yeah, that's it. It's the tier list.